Now, do you remember the days when the click of a cartridge into a console, followed by an iconic jingle, marked the beginning of an epic adventure into the pixelated world of video games? Fast forward to the present, and Nintendo's infinite wisdom has gifted us a ticket back to our childhoods with the NES Classic and some of its amazing games. But more importantly, is it still worth buying? So join me as I take a closer look. The development of the NES Classic was a testament to Nintendo's understanding of gamers' love for everything retro. The idea was simple yet brilliant: recreate the magic of the original NES, but in a compact plug-and-play form, with a selection of games that resonated with the essence of 80s gaming. And the result was a sleek and nostalgic-inducing masterpiece that looked like it had been ripped straight from the childhood memories of gamers.
Neat.
Now, many speculated as to what games would appear on the NES Classic, and when this great box of fun was eventually released, it came with an impressive lineup of titles, each a classic in its own right. So I think we need to take a look at some of the standout games. Right, first up we have the original Super Mario, a game that introduced players to the Mushroom Kingdom and that heroic plumber known as Mario. Next up, we had The Legend of Zelda. Obviously, this game set the standard for action-adventure games, and was the beginning of perhaps one of the biggest franchises from Nintendo.
Nice.
Following this, we have the groundbreaking Metroid, and what's great about Metroid is that it immerses players into a world filled with exploration and discovery, and obviously was the precursor to the beloved Metroidvania genre. And speaking of that, we also have the classic Castlevania, and in this gothic platformer, players take on the role of the vampire hunter known as Simon Belmont, who would venture through Dracula's castle while battling hordes of supernatural foes.
Indeed.
Now, perhaps one of my favourite titles in the NES Classic, Mega Man 2 saw the return of the Blue Bomber in this action-packed sequel to the original. And thanks to its innovative level design, its diverse choice of weapons, and a music track that is simply amazing, it's no wonder that this 8-bit title is held in such high regard. But anyway, last but not least, we have Dr. Mario, perhaps one of the most addictive puzzle games that I've played recently. And thanks to its easy to learn gameplay as well as its catchy music, Dr. Mario will provide hours of entertainment. So there are some of the games, but what other features did the NES Classic have? While the NES Classic offered a pixel-perfect display mode, it also included options for a CRT filter, simulating the look of old-school TVs, fulfilling that nostalgic itch for older gamers. And with a simple-to-use menu system, all the classic games are there at a touch of a button. But perhaps one of the standout features of the NES Classic itself is the ability to create save points at any point during gameplay. This feature added a modern convenience to some of the classic games known for their difficulty. I won't spoil which ones, but let's just say it's super helpful.
Excellent!
In an era dominated by cutting-edge consoles with lifelike graphics, as well as expansive virtual worlds, the NES Classic might seem like a relic of the past. However, its appeal extends far beyond mere nostalgia. So here's the burning question: is the NES Classic still worth buying? Absolutely. It's not just a games console, it's a time machine that transports players back to the past, to an era where gaming was much more simple yet addictive.
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
So grab your controller, press start, and let the nostalgia flow into the magical world of 8-bit, where many adventures await every single gamer.
Shut up and take my money!
Anyway, come back next time for another Origins video, but this time around it's on the vampire known as Kane. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.